this was my home, an alcoholic father who took his clients to strip clubs and bars. My mother and dad would fight every night until I was 10 years old and I heard my mother screaming and I went in there and he had a gun to his head. So when my dad came to Christ because she forced him to go to AA, and his sponsor just happened to be a Christian, my dad gave his life to Christ, and I saw a 180-degree change in my dad. I saw a miracle in my very own home. Not many of us in this room have seen a miracle of a transformation of a person from self-centered, self-focused, always drunk, to now moving us to Ackworth so he can get a job at Lockheed and rising to the top to become head of finance, and people lined up in the hall to wait till my dad could talk to them about Jesus. So I saw parents who took their faith, and my mother went to the poorest areas of Ackworth with built housing authority where they could get out of their slums into government-made homes, and I saw them transform Ackworth. The sewage stopped being poured into Lake Ackworth. So I saw the impact that could happen, and I said, I want to pay it forward. I want to do this for a lifetime. So I learned how to share my faith using the 4 spiritual laws, and I went to all my friends, and I said, can I share this with you? People receive Christ, what do I do with them? Y'all know, I didn't know what to do with them. Come to my church. It was dead as a doorknob. The church that we went to, Laura knows, she went there for a while. And we were asked eventually, when my dad was so fired up, so filled with the Spirit, that people just started coming to our church just so they could be in his Sunday school class, and we were asked to leave the church. So I said, God, if you will show me how to see people be discipled and grow in their faith to reach others, you have me for the rest of my life. So then I went to Kennesaw, and we held hands and shared precious verses. We didn't know how to reach the campus for Christ. So when I went to UGA, instead of a Christian college that everybody was telling me I should go to, finally somebody took me with crew and showed me around how to not only lead people to Christ, but by discipling them, they would turn around and do that with others. And I saw multiplication for the first time. I said, I want to do this forever. So 25 years in youth ministry, I looked over there when I saw him leading these youth this last Sunday morning, and I went, full circle. Here I am back helping people to reach high school students. But where this all began was about 8 years ago when I read a book, T for T, but it was this book 5 years ago that showed me how you could take the mega churches that are in Atlanta. We're the second behind Dallas-Fort Worth, 50 churches with 5,000 in their membership in Atlanta, in the state of Georgia. So what do you do with all these traditional churches? We have 2 churches right here, Dunwoody Baptist and Johnson Ferry Baptist, who've said, we're going to do it. We're going to make this happen. We're going to be an example to churches around the nation. We have that privilege here in David and in Jeff Reams. So there isn't a way to blow up the traditional church, but it's finding people in those churches that we can challenge to take the next steps with us. And so this movement is a movement of micro churches outside of the traditional church, but we're asking them to please bless us. You know, I might not do everything at your church you want me to do. I go to Passion City, so I'm not going to become a door holder, if you've ever been there. But I'm going there because that's where my son and my daughter-in-law and they're my 2 precious Joshua and Caleb grandkids are. I love spending time with them on Sunday morning, but that doesn't mean I don't try my hardest everywhere I go to see churches get started. And y'all, just north of here, you might not know this, but in Blue Ridge, right up here, is Big Life's headquarters, and that's where they have 6 house churches out of 1 brewery called Grumpy Old Men. Okay, I wish I could have gotten Forrest Head here. He and John are amazing. Big Life is amazing. We need to partner with those guys. But what I wanted to share with you guys is that I've labored because everything that is we should be doing this should be based in prayer, right? And another word for prayer is dependence on God, right? Everything should be dependence on God. So when I met Jim McKnight, in Columbus who runs No Place Left Army, who is on bases all around the United States. And I saw his sheet, and if you'll pick this up in the middle of your table, if everybody will put one in your hand, and help the next table over there that don't have one to have one. I'm going to show you a tool that he showed me and show you how I'm a developer. I'm not a designer. A lot of people in this room, you design things, you come up with them. I can't do that. I can develop what other people have. And so I've just tweaked it just enough to where hopefully you can see this as a tool you can use and your disciples can use if you'll follow me to grow, top left corner. And this A team stands for accountability. I don't know about you women in this room, but us guys need accountability. And so how we're doing, and this is almost like doing a discovery Bible study by just walking through this in threes. So you get 3 people that can be on your A team. And so there's the growing part. You can look at it there. There's the going part, and then there's the gather. How are we doing? How are we doing with growing? And so this is how you can know what action steps, and this is the reason I'm showing you this is what y'all are going to use in the groups y'all are going to at lunch. Everybody's going to have one of these in their hand when they go to the lunch, and every one of you guys that are having groups at lunch, force everybody to take some time, because the hardest thing is to get people just to put names down and to say, from this time I am here this weekend, I know, and all of us in this room know what God is telling you to do next. You know what he's telling you to do next. But the hard thing to do is just go do it. And sometimes when you write it down and you tell your A team, next week when I come back, guys, I am going to have done this. There's some accountability there. And you can be praying for that dude. And then every day, how's it going? How's it going? How's it going? But then just start putting these names of seekers that you come across that you're sharing Christ with to ask God, would you give them a heart to be that disciple? And I'll tell you what, how powerful this is I'll just say his first name, but I had Zach over here. I had shared with Zach, and I'd gone over a tool, and this is another tool that God just supernaturally gave me. A lot of people you'll share Christ with here in Georgia, they'll tell you, oh, I'm a Christian. I've been baptized. I've walked the aisle. I've been, joined the church. I'm good. So I'm sitting across from the table with this guy from the gym, and I'm looking at him, and I'm just going, no. As we went over total surrender, he said, oh, I'm totally surrendered. I'm all that. Now, I've been around long enough to where I know when somebody has really made that decision or not. And so, you know what I did? I put him in my seeker, and I kept praying for him because he told me, yeah, Mark, I know you want to do the discipleship thing, but I'm so, you know what the next word is? Busy. I'm so up to here with everything in my home, with all my activities, with everything I've got going on, that I just don't know if I can do that, what you're asking me. But I kept praying, Lord, this guy is incredible and could be an amazing leader. Not 2 weeks later, hey, Mark, I'd love to schedule a time to get together with you soon. My marriage fell apart a week or so ago, and the craziness saw God come through in a huge way to save it. He used you in our first meeting as a part of that story, and I'd love to share it with you. This week has been a little bit of a coming down from the mountaintop sort of experience, and I'd love your advice on how to keep the momentum going and not be discouraged by the obstacles thrown in my path since God moved and drew me closer to Him. I'm dealing with a cold currently. Can we meet next week? We're meeting Monday. That's what you're praying for. So that's where you just put those names down over here, and then you move them over to potential disciple because just because Zach even Monday tells me, I'm totally surrendered now, I'm ready to go. He's still potential because I don't know if he's even going to obey the first next step that I give him. And then there's guys that are wanting to be trained, and there's guys that are multipliers. But you guys, you know what we have here in Atlanta? We have a blue million Christians, don't we? All of us have been involved in 2, 3, 4 Bible studies or gone to churches in this room. I'm looking at you. You know more Christians than I know, and I've been here for 40 years. But I challenged every single one of these people to come this weekend, because this is a catalyst. This is a kick in the pants. This is what people need when they get in this kind of setting to go, where have I been? Oh my gosh. What am I doing with my life? And we're hoping that you've come to a juncture. You've come to a place in your Christian life where you go, I'm dissatisfied with status quo, and I cannot keep going this way. We're hoping you've come to that juncture. So if you have, we're praying that you will just join us at 10:02 every morning. And guys, I am now tired of just ordinary prayer. I'm doing the extraordinary. I said, okay, in my mind, what's extraordinary? I get on my face and I scream cry. And I say, God, I pray for University of Georgia. Please, God, would you please raise up? God, I point to Georgia Southern and West Georgia and the ethnicities. Oh, God, would you please raise up African Americans? We don't have any, there's none. We need you. You've got to move, God. Unless you move, it's not going to happen. And that's where this vision for this meeting came in. We were sitting in a dream team in that room over there, and we walked in here before this place was even remodeled. And I just put my hand up and I said, all those from Macon, stand up. It was wanting to pray for you in Athens. And I could just see, like I can't even see you right now. All I can see is these groups of people across the state of Georgia that have not come to Jesus and been a part of a movement. And Lord, God, I pray you will grip us with the lostness of our state. And you will grip us with the fact there's so many people that call themselves Christians. They're going to church on a Sunday morning and they're not doing anything with their faith. So grip us, God, that we would weep over those thousands and literally tens of thousands that are in our inner city that are dying, that are shooting each other and killing each other. And even this weekend, a Black Pride grave LGBTQ festival is going on. It's just so, God, breaks my heart every time I open that newspaper and read the despotism of this city. God, unless you move, unless you decide to change us from the inside out, we will continue doing what we're doing and not do what it takes to reach those who you put in our path and disciple them to become disciple makers. Lord, show us in our time and our breakouts what it's going to take, and give us the ability to do the hard, amazing things, to break through these barriers that we've had in our lives for so long, and see the impossible happen. Like you saw let me see with my father and my own family, and with all those that you put around us in this state, the places we prayed into, and now they're here in this room because we continue to pray and we did not give up. So God, give us prayer warriors that will come before your very throne and not leave till we're satisfied you have heard our prayer and we've gotten your marching orders and we're willing to obey. And we claim this in Jesus' name. Amen.